Today I'm going to show you how to build this first order TIE fighter right here in LEGO Fortnite, and I've got to tell you, I've been having a ton of fun flying this thing around. It not only looks cool, it also handles very well, and I've been able to get this as high as the Frostlands Mountains and even flew over the tallest mesa in the Dry Valley. And even if you accidentally hop out of the driver's seat, don't worry, because this thing will fly and handle itself. And if you're new here and want to see more content like this from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we've got plenty of other tutorials and many more on the way. And a big special shout out to the MadPuck66 and General Ronimus for inspiring today's build. I'm going to go ahead and link their channels down in the description. And as always, we've got to get you your material list, and this one's quite painful today, but here we go. Oh, here it is. So here's a look at the materials you're going to need to complete this build in full. So feel free to take a screenshot or pause the video before we start getting to the build. All right, so for the first step of the build, we're gonna grab a large car jack out of toys and vehicle parts, and we're gonna place it down. Next, I'm gonna be using a 6x2x1 thin floor from the Haunted House set. However, if you don't have this piece, just use some color of 6x2x1 that you wanna go with. And the way we're gonna do with these is we're just gonna stack this on top. We're gonna have it kind of nudged off center there a bit. And we're gonna put 4 of these in total. Then with the same floor piece, we're gonna go ahead and stack it up on top of the outermost floor piece we put down, and then we're just gonna nudge it out one like this. And then we're gonna stack 2 more on top with just that one stud gap hanging off the edge. So here's how you should be looking. Just go around and make sure that you're lined up evenly front to back, and then we're gonna do the same thing over here on the other side. Next, over in toys and vehicle parts, we've got a vehicle base 3. We're gonna go ahead and take this and stack this right on top of that floor piece we put down on the outer edge there. And we're gonna put another one right here, and we'll do the same thing over here on the other side. Now let's go back to the 6x2x1 floor pieces we used. We're gonna stack one right on top of the vehicle base 3. And then just like we did down there, we're gonna do the same thing with a little step kind of pattern here. We're gonna line it up, nudge it off one. We're gonna stack another one, doing the same thing, and then a third one on top. And then from here, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then we're just gonna fill in the center with 2 more. Next, we're gonna grab a pressure plate from Toys and Controls right here under switches, and we're gonna snap in to this top vehicle base 3. We're gonna do one right there. We're gonna come over here on the other side and do the same thing. Now back to our 6x2x1 floor. We're gonna come underneath this pressure plate here and aim right at the bottom. We're gonna bring this all the way over until we're lined up flush with the outside edge of this cockpit. And then from here, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stack one on top of there, and we're gonna nudge it over one, and then we're gonna snap one directly into that piece there. Now from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the pressure plate on the opposite end. And now we can just go ahead and snap into the first one we put down, and then we're gonna bring it on over. Same thing here, we're just gonna set one right on top and nudge it in one. And then let's just snap another one directly to the right side of the floor piece we just put down. Now around the back here, we're gonna do something very similar, just slightly different. So we're gonna start the same way though by aiming at the bottom of this pressure plate. We're gonna bring one on over and snap it in. And then from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that same floor piece again, nudging one in. But instead of just stacking one and snapping it right into the side, we're gonna repeat that by putting a floor piece right on top of that one we just put down and then nudge it in one. And now we're gonna break this out. And same thing here that we're gonna snap in, bring another one on over. Then we're gonna stack 2 more on top with that one space nudging in, just like that. Just make sure that you've got an even amount of spaces and everything's looking good just like you're seeing now. So moving forward, I will be referring to the front side and the back side of the cockpit, and the way you can tell the difference is if you come off to the side here, you can see over here on the right, it's a lot more flat and only has 2 pieces sticking out. That is our front, where this left side here where you have the 3 pieces sticking out is the back. So over on the back side of the cockpit, we're gonna start with a 6x2x1, and we're gonna rest this right on the inside here, flush with the outer edge, and then we're gonna nudge it back towards us one and place it down. Just check again to make sure that you are only 1 stud nudged off the back. And then we're gonna go on over to the 8x2x1. We're gonna set this right on top of that 6x2x1 that we put down, but then we're gonna also nudge this off one and just come down here again to check. Now let's do the same thing in the front. We're going to do the 6x2x1, put it right here, nudge it off one, and then we're going to take the 8x2, stack it again right on top of that 6x2x1, and then just nudge that forward one. Now we are around the back of the cockpit here, and next we're going to go on into toys under general and grab some small balloons, and we're actually going to place this on this like first little step up all the way as far forward as we can go, and we're going to place it down, and then we're going to put another balloon directly behind it there and one more here, and we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Next, we're going to place 2 more balloons, but this time we're actually going to be aiming for the floor that steps down from where we actually just put our balloons up. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to bring this as far over, touching those balloons as we can, and we're just going to nudge it in one, and then we're going to bring it back till we hit another object is in the way here, and then from here we're going to nudge it forward 2 spaces and place it down. And then from here, we're going to find this balloon in the same position, but just nudged over, pretty much touching the balloons on the right-hand side, and place it down. And then we're just going to make our way around the front side here, and we're going to place 2 more balloons directly in front of the ones we just placed down. Our next piece can be found in the haunted house set. We're going to go ahead and filter down to that and head on over to the roof pieces. And if you scroll down a bit, we've got the haunted house trim 2, which is the 1x4x1. Now, we're not going to place these directly behind those balloons. We actually want to aim to the little floor piece that steps up a little bit further back. And we're going to place 5 of these down. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then with the same haunted trim 2, we're going to go ahead and, again, we're around the back side here. We're going to aim right at this thin floor piece right there on the bottom to where it's kind of resting on those ones running vertically. And we're going to bring it in until we're lined up with the second step up here. Then we're going to take another one. We're going to snap it in, nudge it on over. And then we're going to go to the smaller version, which is the 1x2x1, and we're going to snap this right in the middle. Now we're going to take the same 1x4x1 haunted trim 2 here, and we're going to find this outside edge of the pieces that we just put down here on the left. We're going to line it up there, and then we're going to nudge it over one and place it down, and then we're just going to snap one more in right next to it. Now we're going to grab a 6x2x1, and we're going to snap it in. Again, we're on the back still. We're going to snap in right to this piece here, which is the highest floor piece that's kind of stepping out of the back there. We're just going to snap it into there and make sure that it's center. We're going to come on over to toys and controls and grab a small driver's seat. We're basically just going to put this good in center right here on that 6x2x1 we just placed down with the handlebars facing forward. And an important note, in some of the future scenes, you're going to be seeing sets of 3 small thrusters on the right and left sides of the seat. Just completely ignore those. Those are not going to be a part of today's build. Now around the front side here, we're going to do the same thing that we've done with those trim pieces in the back. So we're going to take the haunted trim 2, the 1x4x1. We're going to go ahead and aim right at this bottom floor piece. We're going to bring it in one. We're going to snap it in and bring it on over in the same position on the opposite side. Now, if you've got them positioned properly, you should have this little gap in the center. We're going to go back over to the smaller one, which is the 1x2x1, and we're going to snap one right up the middle. And then let's go back to the 1x4x1 haunted trim 2, and we're going to place it right in front of the ones we just put down, but we want to bring it over to where the kind of inside the right side of the piece is pretty much lined up directly down the center of those balloons. We're going to place it down, and we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Now we're just going to take 2 more of the haunted trim 2s, and we're just going to place them directly underneath the piece right here. Then over in the wall decor pieces, we have the Imperial Sigil from Imperial Survival set. Now, if you don't have that, you can kind of go through and try to look at a couple of different pieces that might look good on the front end here. But if you want to do exactly what we've got going on in the thumbnail, we're going to be using the Imperial Sigil here under decorations and the wall hangings. We're going to place it right up the middle here. You can do that just by simply aiming at those haunted trim pieces that we had right behind it. Then up top here, we're going to take a 6x2x1, and we're actually going to stack it right up on top of this outermost piece. We're going to nudge it over one, place it down, and we're going to place 2 more right here. Just make sure that you are nice and centered on the top. Now let's go back to our pressure plate from Toys and Controls. We're going to snap it into this top vehicle base 3 here, and we're going to nudge it to the right 4 spaces. And we're going to come around on the other side and do the exact same thing. From here, we're going to filter on the first order build set, and we're going to come on over into building parts and walls. And all the way towards the bottom here, we have this first order half wall tapered. The way we want to place this is we're going to aim right at where the pressure plate meets that vehicle base 3 setup we've got there. Now we're going to rotate it to where the angle is facing downward, and we're going to bring it towards the front 2 nudges, and then we're going to bring it down 1, and we're going to place the piece. Now, to know you've done this correctly, you'll see the top edge of this piece is going to be lined up right in the middle of where those vehicle base 3s meet, and then you just have 1 stud worth of the silver parts before it meets the black part over here on the right. And then once you verified the placement's correct, we're going to snap another one in right next to it with the angle also facing down towards the ground. And then we're going to take another one. This time we're going to rotate it upward, and we're going to bring it directly above that piece, and then another one right behind that. Now just repeat the same steps on the other side. Now let's just go ahead and remove these pressure plates. Then let's make our way over to the wall decorations, where we're going to find this Imperial Survival Droid computer interface. And the placement for this is going to be right on those pieces we just placed down. And we want it as close to the cockpit as we can possibly make it. So once that thing turns red, just bring it over a little bit and place it down. We're going to do the same thing over here on the other side and the back side. Now, just an important thing to check is that both pieces are evenly placed and center on those extensions that we put in for our wings. Go ahead and verify that on both sides. Now with the Haunted Trim 2, the 1x4x1, we're going to go ahead and place this right on top of those studs there, but we want to actually rotate this to where the flat part of that piece is facing downward. You can see there's that little bump up facing towards the sky now. And we're going to take another one of these and we're going to place it right on top of it. Again, this time we want to make sure that the flat part is facing upward. And then we're going to place 2 more down in the same position on top of those. Now let's just repeat on the other side. Let's go ahead and filter to the first order build kit, and we're going to come on over to floors down where we have the 16x16x1 Star Killer floor 6A. And the placement for these is we're actually going to want to aim right at these haunted trims that we just put down. We're going to try to aim at the bottom one there, and we're going to bring this down 2 spaces. Now, if you come around the back here, we're going to see where it's at. We don't want this floor piece to be center from top to bottom. We actually want those black pieces kind of lined up with this section of the where studs would normally snap in here. But what you do want to make sure, though, is that you're actually center from right to left like you're seeing now. So sorry for the long explanation here, but this is just very important that we get that right. So I just want to give you a chance to kind of check and make sure, because it does get a little bit tricky to try to get this in this position. And then let's just go around over here on the other side and do the exact same thing. Now we're going to build out this wing, and what we're going to do is we're going to repeat it on the other side when we finish. So just rewind this section and follow those steps again on the opposite side once we're done. So we're going to start with the 16x2x1 first order floor, and we're going to snap one directly on the left and right sides of this piece here. Now we're going to take a 6x2x1, and we're going to snap right on top of that 16x2x1 we put here. We're going to do one over here on the right side, and then on the bottoms we're actually going to grab the 4x2x1 and snap those in here on the right and left sides. Now let's take a 12x2x1. We're going to snap into the side here. We're going to rotate. Now let's bring this all the way up towards the top. Now once we meet the top, we're going to nudge it down 4. And then we're going to do the same thing here on the other side. And then underneath those, we're going to go on over to the 6x2x1s, and we're just going to snap them in to the bottoms. Now let's go back to the 16x2x1, and on the top here, we're actually going to snap 5 in. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then on the bottom, we're going to snap in 4. Next, let's take a 6x2x1 floor piece, and we're going to snap into the bottom here. We're going to bring this out, and we're going to bring it all the way up 6 nudges. So make sure you line up at the bottom, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Now we're going to outline this in black with some other thin floors. Again, if you don't have these pieces, whatever color you choose, just follow the same dimensions. We're going to go ahead and use a 8x2x1. We're going to start by centering one up right on this outside 6x2x1. We're gonna put one more right here and below this piece. Then we're gonna go to the smaller, the 6x2x1, and we're gonna snap one here and here. Same thing on the bottom. And then we're gonna repeat that same thing on the other side. And then for both the top and bottom, we're going to fill this in with two 8x2x1s. Now we're going to repeat that exact same design here on the other side. So it'd be a great time to just rewind to where we started outlining this 16x16x1 floor piece. Now you'll notice mine's actually off the car jack at the moment. Don't remove yours just yet. While I was building this second wing, I was a little bit too close to that building over there, and it told me that I could no longer place pieces. So I had to remove the jack and bring it forward, but yours is totally fine to remain on the jack at the moment. Now we're going to detail out these wings, and I recommend for each step that you do, just go ahead and repeat it on the opposite wing so that when you get through this section, you will be done with both of them. Or feel free if you just want to complete one and then rewind the video and complete the next one, that's also an option. So if you've been following along with the haunted house floors, we're actually going to use two of the 6x2x1s, and what we're going to do is we're going to center it over here on the left part of the wing. We're going to place one down, and we're going to snap in another one here, and then we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side, only this time we're going to place down one. If you're using a different floor of a solid color, you can use the 12x2x1. I'm only using two 6s because I don't want that little silver piece on this. Next, we're going to be taking this imperial wall sculpture from decorations and wall hangings, and we're going to center this on the wing. However, some of you may not have this piece, so I recommend if you don't, go through the wall hangings to see if you can find anything that you want in the center of your wing. If you can't find anything there, I definitely recommend, if you have the new first order set, using this rug or checking out some of the other rugs. And if that doesn't work out for you, then you can always just fill out a nice square in the center here with thin floors. If you are going to go with one of the wall hangings, the way we're going to center this up is take any one of the 2x2x12 corners in our wall section. We're going to line it directly up against this thin floor piece here on the right. And then we're going to actually bring this up one space, just like that. And then from here, you're going to go back to your toy section to grab a pressure plate. We're just going to snap one right here on the bottom. Then we're going to go ahead and grab our wall hanging, and we're going to aim it right where the pressure plate meets the bottom of the corner that we put on, and we're going to rotate it outward this way. And we're going to bring it on over towards the center, and we're going to bring it all the way back until we actually make contact with those floors behind it. Then we're going to bring it on over until we make contact with the actual floor piece. Then just bring it back over 2 spaces and place it down. And just before we go ahead and break this off, you just need to make sure that this little triangle here on the left is directly lined up center with this floor piece right next to it. And then if all is good here, let's just go ahead and break this off. And we're going to go back to a 6x2x1, or if you're using a 12x2x1, we're just going to go ahead and finish this off over here on the right side, and then just repeat those steps on the other side. Now let's go ahead and filter back to the haunted house set in the roof section here where we have the haunted trim 1. We used this previously. What we're going to do is we're going to put it right up against the floors here on the wing. And we're going to lift this up right there between the centerpiece and the floors. And we're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Then with the same piece, we're going to snap one in right here on the bottom and the top of both sides. And then above it, we're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to go center. We're going to come as far down as we can and then just nudge it up one. So we're going to snap one in here, and same thing on the bottom. Then with that same exact piece, we're actually going to rotate this vertically, and we're going to tuck it right in the corner here and place one down. And then we're going to create this diagonal line that runs from this corner down to the bottom of the wing. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to start by placing one right next to it, and we're going to hold snap mode for the rest of it. We're going to place one underneath it, then next to it, then underneath it, then next to it, then underneath it, then next to it. And we're going to continue to do this all the way until we reach this corner of the wing here. Then we're just going to repeat that for all 4 corners. Now here's how it should be looking. Just make sure that everything is nice and evenly balanced, and then we're gonna repeat that same process over here on the other side. Now, once you have both wing patterns complete, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna come right over here behind the wing, and we're gonna actually take the 1x4x1 haunted trim. We're gonna rotate this to where the flat part of it is facing towards the back of the wing. And we're gonna bring it on over as far as we can go. And we're gonna place one down, and then we're gonna do another one right behind it. And then we're gonna repeat that same thing over here on the other side. And then again, the same thing right here in the front. Next, let's make our way up top here, and we're gonna center an 8x2x1 thin floor between these two black pieces sticking up. And the way we want this placed is, it's gonna be right in the center, like I said, and we want it as far down as we can go, making contact with the piece beneath it. And we're gonna do that here on the other side. This is for reinforcement of the wing. That way, if something were to happen where you crash and that center like floor piece breaks out, these wings will still be on the ship, and you ain't gonna have to worry about repairing it. And we're gonna take some more 1x4x1 haunted trim twos. We're gonna rotate it to where the flat part is facing downward. And we're not gonna be pretty much tucked on the inside of these two pieces here. We're gonna bring it down one to where we're lined up with kind of that line that runs across here on this floor piece. We're gonna put one right on that line, then we're gonna stack another one right behind it. Again, making sure that the flat piece is downward, and we'll do a third one right here. I'm gonna do the same thing over here on the other side. And then underneath where we just placed those pieces, we're gonna go and grab some small thrusters. We're gonna place them right underneath as far as we can go, closest to the wing there, and we're gonna bring it back one. We're gonna put one right next to that, and a whole nother set just in front of those. Let's do that same thing over here on the other side. Then we're gonna take another small thruster, and we're basically gonna put it right in the center here on this angled piece, just outside where those light gray pieces are, and then we're gonna do the same thing over here on the other side. And then for tuning underneath, every single thruster, we wanna turn off channel 3 and set them to channel 4. That includes all 5 of them on this side and this side. Now with some more small thrusters, we're gonna go ahead and find these side pieces we installed. We're actually gonna lift this up until you can no longer place it down, and then just bring it down one. And then from here, we're gonna place 2 more underneath it, and do the same thing over here on the other side. Then let's make our way around back and do the exact same thing. For the tuning of our turning thrusters here, what we're gonna do is just choose any one of these sides here. And I'm gonna go ahead and start by putting all 3 of these on channel 1 and turning off channel 3. And then we're gonna come to the opposite corner here in the front. And we're also gonna set those to the same tuning of channel 1 and turning off channel 3. Then for the other 2 corners, we're gonna go ahead and turn off channel 3 and turn on channel 2. Now back in Toys and Controls, we're gonna grab some large thrusters, and we're gonna be on the back side here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna place this right on the bottom, as far down as we can go here, against the thin floors. We're gonna place another one in the exact same position on the other side. And then from here, we're gonna set another set of these right above them, almost making contact with the one below it. And these are by default set till channel 3, so no need to change anything on these. And if you have not already, let's go ahead and remove our car jack, and then we're gonna take the 6x2x1 thin floors, and just like we did on top, we're gonna bring this out until there's like 1 stud gap there from the edge, and we're just gonna place 3 of these right up the center. And then a nice little touch for the front end, we're gonna go to first order. We're gonna go on over to the furniture and lights, and we have these little small first order command lights. These look really nice right here in the corners. You can put them directly underneath the sigil here. Just like that. Now we're ready to cruise and talk about how to control this thing. Now, if you're in expert or survival without flying on, you could just simply put down a little half stair set here, get close to the seat, and hop on in. So for best flight performance, what we need to know is channel 4 is going to raise us up into the air. However, When for whatever reason you engage channel 3 when getting some high heights, you're going to start to get this dip forward and a slight tilt. I recommend making sure that you're only engaging channel 3 or 4 independently. And another thing to notate too is that sometimes if you do have a bit of that tilt and it continues to turn, just turn off channel 4 and then level out a bit and then turn it back on to continue to climb in height. And if you follow these exact tuning, then we've got channel 1 is going to turn us over to the right, while channel 2 is going to turn us over to the left. Those can actually be paired with both forward and climbing height without any problems whatsoever. You can also feather your landings by, when you're coming in, just toggling in and out of channel 4. If you enjoyed today's build, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already. Also, check out some of the other videos that are being shown on screen right now. YouTube thinks you're going to like them. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you all in the next one.